Welcome back. Today we're going to talk about percents. Percents, the word percents means per cent. Percent means per 100. Okay, so percents means per 100. So how many out of 100? So therefore 1% is 1 out of 100. You get a 1% on a test, 1 out of 100. Okay. Now, when we talk about percents, we need to be able to convert between percents, decimals, and fractions. So 17% would be 17 out of 100, which is 0.17. Notice, we move 2 places to the left when we're talking about percents because we talk about out of 100. So 0.56 would be 56%. 0.0024 is equal to 0.24%. 0.13% is equal to 0.0013. Notice, if I've got a decimal, a rate, and a percent, if my percent is 17, my decimal is 0.17. Notice I moved 2 places to the right, so I have 0.17 is 17%. 1/2 is 0.5, which is equal to 50%. 1/6, I divide 1 by 6, I get 0.1666666, so that would be 16.6%. Notice, I moved it 2 places to the right to get to a percent. When I'm talking about a mixed number, this is 100% plus 1/2 equals 1.5 equals 150%. 2 places to the right to move from a decimal to a percent. What we do with this is we talk about proportions and percents. So the number that I have out of 100 is equal to the number out of the percent. So the amount out of 100 is equal to the number I have out of the percent. So let's look at an example of this right here. The average size of an American house was 2,137 feet. This is 130% of the size of the home in 1979. What was the average house size in 1979? So I'm going to set up a proportion here. So 100% is the average house size in 1979. Well, I don't know what that is, so that's x out of 100. Well, 130% of that value is equal to 2,137. Notice how I compared those values. 2,137 is 130%. So is goes over the of is equal to P out of percent. The number out of the percent is over of. So, how do I solve percents? Same way I solve these proportions. So, I do 2,137 times 100 is equal to x times 130. $2,13700 divided by 130 equals x. X equals 1643.85 feet. Square feet, that is. Let's look at another example. A Chevy Blazer was purchased for $22,400. This was 70% of the cost of the Blazer when new. Another way to think about this would be to say 70% or 0.7 times the new cost is equal to 22,400. Let's look at what this looks like. This equation here can be easily solved for x. 0.7 times the new value is equal to that. If I set this up as a proportion, I could say 70% is the number I have. I don't know what it was new, but I know that that represented 100%. So I'm comparing the price that I know to the percentage that it is, and the price that I don't know to the percentage that it is. Well, when you multiply this out, I get 70x equals 22,40000. Well, when I divide by 70 on both sides, I get that x equals 32,000. Well, look at what I get when I divide over here. I divide both sides by 0.7. So x equals 22,400 divided by 0.7. I get 32,000. Notice, either way you set it up, it works. Okay? Percent increase and percent decrease. Is the percent change of a value either up or down? Key. Compare to the original. Okay, so I'm going to compare to the original. So when I'm talking about the number of students in a school, I'm going to say that I'm going to compare to the original the amount of change. So the amount of change over the original. Well, I have 288 minus 200. That gives me the change. And I'm going to compare to what it was, or 200. Well, this gives me 88 over 200, which is the amount of change over the original amount. So 0.88 divided by 200 equals 0.044. 0.44 is 44%, and it went up, so it's an increase from the original amount. So it's 44% increase. Let's look at this national park example. It contains 233,000 acres, and the forest fire destroys 67,000 acres. What is the percent decrease of the total number of acres? So the change over the original equals 67,050 over 233,000. So 67,050 divided by 233,000 is equal to 0.287768, is approximately equal to 28.8% decrease. The amount of change over the original amount, because we always want to compare to the original, because that's, you know, how we calculate sales price or amount of increase of population or amount of decrease of acreage or whatever. Okay, so that's percents in a nutshell. Thanks for watching. We'll see you next time.